If you're ready to make your own home decor, we've got a fantastic lineup of creative and fun projects. From votive holders to hanging lanterns, beaded wall hangings, and more, there's something here for everyone. Votive holder. Paint a square piece of wood with acrylic paint. Use whatever color you prefer as your base color. Don't forget the edges. Once the base coat is dry, layer a stencil over it. Pick a second, darker color and use a sponge on the paint over the stencil. After the paint dries, flip the wood over and apply a hanger to the back. Then install a screw hook on the front. Measure a rope for your votive and hot glue it on. Use matching rope to create a border on the top of the votive. With the glue dry, hang your votive handle on the hook. You can now place your new creation on the wall. DIY hanging lantern. For this project, you'll need a piece of square scrap wood and longer, narrow pieces to form your lantern. Cut your wood into 4 longer pieces, 4 mid-sized pieces, and 4 short pieces. Paint the wood with acrylic paint. Choose any color you like. Next, stain the square piece of wood. Begin assembling the lantern by wood gluing the shortest pieces of wood to the longest pieces. You'll create 2 rectangles. Position the 2 rectangles on the flat piece of wood and use your mid-sized pieces as spacers. With everything neatly arranged, use wood glue to secure the pieces to the wood square. Then attach the top pieces of wood. Measure a piece of rope to act as the lantern's handle. Hot glue the rope to the wood. You can use your lantern for storage or add a potted plant or flameless candle. Beaded wall hanging. For this project, you'll need a dowel rod, small wooden stick, string, wood beads, and paint. Feed your wood beads through a small wooden stick and paint them with acrylic paint. Repeat with different sized beads. Repeat a 3rd time. Feel free to use different colors for the beads. Cut 7 pieces of string, then pull all of the dried beads off of the stick and place them in a bowl. Wrap the 7 strings around the larger wooden dowel. Thread a needle onto one of the strings and start layering in the beads. Tie a knot at the end of the string to secure the beads. Repeat this process until all beads are attached. Cut off excess string, then measure a new string and tie it at the top ends of the dowel. Beaded hoop hanging. To make this beaded hoop, you'll need a craft hoop, string, beads, paint, and small wooden stick. Feed your wooden beads onto a small stick and paint them with acrylic paint. Repeat using a different color of paint. Cut 7 pieces of doubled up string and attach them to your hoop. Place the dried beads in a bowl. Use a needle to thread the beads onto the string and tie the bottom to secure the beads. Repeat for all strings. Cut the excess string and your beaded hoop will be complete. Framed small jar holder. Start by cutting scrap wood into 4 of the same size pieces. Then paint each piece with acrylic paint. With the paint dry, screw a small hook into one board. Apply wood glue to the bottoms of the interior pieces and assemble the wood to make a square. Cut 4 long pieces of string and tie them together. Knot the strings to create a web. Insert a small glass jar in the web and tie the strings at the top. Finally, hang the jar onto the square frame. Mini chalkboard with frame. Start with a wooden picture frame. Remove the glass and picture placeholder. Coat the picture placeholder with chalkboard paint. Paint the frame with acrylic paint. Use modeling clay and a silicone mold to create accents for your frame. Once dry, paint the accents. Wrap string around the side of the frame, knotting it in the back. Insert and secure the chalkboard painted piece. Add finishing touches to your accents with metallic paint or glitter. Use wood glue to attach the accents to the frame. Tie a small metal bucket to the front of the frame and add a piece of chalk. This makes for a great gift or decor. Easy circular wood shelf. For this project, you'll need one circular piece of wood and a perfect half circle. To make your shelf, stand the half circle piece on the center of your main board and mark on each side. Next, use a pencil to mark for screw holes on the base and shelf. You'll need to secure the shelf with 2 screws. Pre-drill the screw holes, then attach a hanger on the back. Have a partner help you secure the shelf board with 2 screws. Finally, hang your shelf and add some decor. Organizer. Grab enough wooden clothespins to cover the diameter of a flower pot. Break the clothespins apart and paint the top portion of each. Attach the clothespins to the flower pot with hot glue. Cover any gapping at the top with hot glue and rope. Fold lacy fabric over the rim and secure. Now you can use your cute flower pot as a bedroom or bathroom organizer. Wooden coat hanger rack. To make this wooden coat hanger rack, you'll need a board that's 61 centimeters long and 14 centimeters wide. Mark for 5 evenly spaced holes 3.5 centimeters from the bottom of the board. Use a drill to make pilot holes. Cut 1/3 off of 5 wooden coat hangers, then sand the edges smooth. Drill pilot holes into the wider part of the hanger to match the pilot holes on the board. Attach each hanger to the board with screws. Then, nail in the top thinner part of the hanger. Use your new coat hanger to house your coats, scarves, and hats. Decorative cutting board. Start by painting the front, back, and sides of your small cutting board with acrylic paint. Use whatever color you'd like. With the paint dry, lay your chosen fabric over one side of the board and cut it to size. Flip the fabric over and hot glue the edges down. Attach the fabric to the board with tack. Create a bow out of ribbon and hot glue it to the fabric. Use the same ribbon to create a loop on the handle. Wooden clipboard. Start by painting your wooden cutting board with acrylic paint. Make sure to coat the front and edges. Once the paint dries, use a doily as a stencil and select a different paint color to sponge a design. Paint your small wooden heart and attach it to the handle with wood glue. Attach a clip with super glue. Use hot glue to form a bow out of ribbon, then attach it to the clip. Finally, string twine through the handle to create a hanger for your clipboard. Wooden sign. Supplies for this project include a small piece of plywood, hooks, a small wooden box, and paint. Start by painting your rectangular piece of plywood with acrylic paint. Paint the wooden box to match. Use a stencil to paint a design on your board. If you don't have a stencil, you can also freehand a design. Poke a screwdriver into the plywood to make the holes for your hook. Then screw the hooks in place. Hot glue flowers or embellishments onto your design. Secure the wooden box to the board with wood glue. Finally, add hangers to the back so you can hang your new sign on the wall. Framed photo board. Remove the glass and inserts from a wooden photo frame. Then paint the frame with acrylic paint. Once the paint dries, flip the frame over and cut chicken wire so that the edges hit the back of the frame where a photo would go. Hot glue the chicken wire in place. Paint the wire to match your frame. Use hot glue to form a flower out of twine and then set it aside. Hot glue ribbon to the top and bottom of the frame. Finally, attach your twine flower and a tiny clothespin to the wire for adding mementos. Pine cone wall decor. Paint an oval piece of wood with acrylic paint. Then cut several pine cones so they're flat on one end. After cutting, paint the pine cones. Use as many or as few colors as you'd like. Attach a hanger to the back of your oval board. Then hot glue your pine cones, arranging them in a floral-like pattern. For a touch of greenery, hot glue fake plant leaves to the arrangement. Bookends with lights. For this project, you'll need two 15 by 15 centimeter boards, two 23 by 15 centimeter boards, and four 1.8 by 15 centimeter boards. After cutting, sand all the edges smooth. Drill a large hole in the center of one of the 15 by 15 centimeter boards. Then stain everything to your liking and allow the wood to dry overnight. Use wood glue to attach the board with a hole to one of the rectangular boards. After the glue dries, reinforce the board with screws. Add the two small boards to the bottom with wood glue. Next, run a lighting kit and sconce up through the hole. Place your bookends on your bookshelf and use one for extra lighting.